Sport. Today we are joined by an absolute division competitor. This man has recently made the move from New Mexico to Oregon. He goes by the name Community Changer on Instagram. Today, my guest, Juan Cordova. Juan, how are you doing?
Doing amazing. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. So, for those of us that are just kind of learning your name, getting familiar with you, can you kind of talk a little bit about your background, your training, how you went from New Mexico to Oregon? Can you kind of give us a little background on who you are?
Yeah, I started in New Mexico at a small gym called the UFC gym. Just it was like mostly a weightlifting gym, and then they had like a jiu-jitsu mats and like a couple classes, and then from there, I just fell in love with jiu-jitsu, and from there I kind of like moved to like a bigger gym, and then I thought to myself, well, I want to really get into jiu-jitsu and take it a little bit more serious, and so I like got a job opportunity in Oregon with Intel, and then they moved me out there. And then it took me a minute to like kind of find the right gym. And then I was met my coaches, Charlie and Maria. Um, Shout out to them. Maria's going to be going to the Brazil trials over there and competing. And I trained with them for about 2 years, and then we made the move to like Canby last year, and from there it's just been great. Been doing jiu-jitsu for about 5 years now, and it's just honestly been the best decision I ever made for myself. Just probably pushed me in so many ways, like to grow my career, but just as an individual, and just surround myself with a amazing community and group of people that are just always like pushing everyone to do better in life in general.
All right, absolutely. One of the things you mentioned is just kind of the community, and I mean, it's just a super small world. I mean, jujitsu as a whole is pretty small, but I mean, Charlie Gilpin and them, we're very familiar with the Canby team over there. They've competed for us a couple times, and I actually have roots in New Mexico. I'm just kind of curious, where did you train at when you kind of moved from the UFC gym to a bigger academy?
It was called Ground Assassins. It was like inside a MMA gym, and I just trained there for a bit because one of my coaches would train there during the moment. I don't think they're like no longer a team anymore, but they just had a little bit more of a competitor edge compared to like the hobbyists, and just kind of gave me a little bit more insight. A guy that I trained with there, his name's Damien, and he trains with John Jones right now and does like MMA, and kind of like pushed me a little bit more to like just grow myself as an individual, get a little bit more understanding of like wrestling and everything. So without him and his coach Jose, I probably wouldn't have been able to grow as an individual as I am today.
Gotcha. Okay, so the Dark Haven team a little bit too, kind of affiliated with those guys. Just a super
Yes.
small world. So now that you're in Oregon, you're under the Canby team, training with Gilpin and them. What has that experience been like? How would you compare and contrast the two?
Honestly, it's been I think I've been able to spend a little bit more time with Camby and Charlie and Maria, and got to know them. And honestly, they became really good friends. Those two are just amazing individuals. Have like nothing but big hearts and open arms to anyone. Are always open to anyone to come train with us. And just gave me a little bit more insight because they've been doing like the game. Been a part of this game a little bit longer, especially Maria. And it's just been awesome experience of just like kind of like um, feed off of their mindset a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just good to hear. I mean, I've never heard anybody say a bad thing about those guys. It's going to be fun to see the results for Maria as well. One thing that really stands out about you is the Instagram handle "community changer." That's a powerful phrase. What does that mean to you exactly?
Honestly, I've had it for about I think close to like 8 9 years now, and at the time I was doing sales, and I was selling like health products, and at the time I thought we were doing like a pretty we had a big goal in mind, and we were just trying to like make the community like have like healthier thoughts and better choices. And once I kind of like stopped doing that, I was trying to figure out like the next thing I wanted to do, and I just kept it. And honestly, it's just like ran with me. um what I really love about Canby is just like we're like not about ourselves, we're about like helping the community grow. And that's where I just stand is like I just want to help every individual that ever comes, like I come across, and make them better than who like what they were before, or just you know push a little bit more goals on them. And honestly, I think the biggest thing, like I think people have to like constantly remember, is just like you have to have goals to something like look forward to. And I just try to remind people that. And I'm just always here to help anyone that I come across.
Okay. So if a younger athlete was tuning in right now, they're relatively new to the sport. What's something that you think they could take away from your story? What's a valuable lesson that you could pass on to the next generation?
Be ready to work hard, be open minded, and be coachable every single day, even from like someone that's like a lower belt than you, or even like someone's just a hobbyist. You'll be really surprised if you just keep a open mind and a big heart, and just be ready for like the competition. And I think having people to push you is like the biggest thing, to kind of like allow people to push you and be coachable all the time.
Absolutely. Great advice too, especially the younger generation. We're all a little hard-headed in our teens. I mean, it's kind of just it comes with age, but let's talk about the challenge that's ahead. You're in the 16-man absolute division. Do you prepare any differently for an absolute division as opposed to your weight class? I mean, there's guys from all different sizes. Kind of, we see guys that are kind of heavier on that side of things, and we also see guys that are kind of lighter, a little more technical, a little more explosive, but they do sacrifice that size. So, is there a difference in your preparation?
Yes, I do respect people that are a lot smaller than me by far, because I get to train with like Charlie and a lot of like the 10th Planet guys in Portland. And one thing I've noticed is that they always have something up their sleeve. They'll like allow me to like, be in a position that I think I'm comfortable in. And so I like try to like figure out what's like the next three steps that they're trying to plan ahead for me if I'm going to be doing a certain position. And one thing I've learned about anyone that's like smaller is that they're more difficult to handle than honestly I think a lot of big guys. And so I've just been trying to keep that in the back of my mind a lot of the time.
Okay, absolutely. I mean, I think that's a great camp too. Like you just said, training with Charlie Gilpin, he's a great example. He's on the heavier side of things, but he's not a giant by any means. He's very technical, probably around 190 mark, I would say. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's a great look to be getting ahead of this event. So for fans that are not familiar with you, how would you describe your team? How would you put your style into words? What are people about to see when you step on the mat?
I'm not a big highlight reel person. I take the game like pretty slow, and I try to like try to keep the game at my pace. And I try to make people make mistakes, and that's when I capitalize on, um, if I'm winning or losing.
All right, absolutely. We got a technician on our hands. I'm looking forward to the chess match. So every match kind of, well, not every match, but some matches have these moments where things get difficult. Your opponent's got knee on face, fist on belly. You're just sitting there, kind of waiting for your moment. When things get tough, where do you find your mental toughness comes from?
Well, I grew up watching a lot of anime, and honestly, anime has been like my core belief. Um, and honestly, when things get tough, like that's where I want to be at. I wouldn't want to be any other way. And I think it just shows like resilience and problem solving. And it just gets you, like, pushes you to do better. And I've just taken that from what I've learned from like anime and jujitsu into like real life, because outside of this, real life happens, and like how you handle yourself is what really counts.
Absolutely. The amount of grapplers that draw on Dragon Ball Z and things like that, it's too funny. It's something about just growing up on that that makes you have this understanding for self progression and kind of, reaching for the best version of yourself. It's too funny to hear that just time and again from guys. But
Yeah, grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, and that's my number one anime, and I represent it till the day I die.
boom. So there's a good chance some of your competitors are going to watch your interview and kind of just like scope out, get a feel for you. If there's something how do I put this? I guess if your competition is watching, what's something they should know about stepping on the mat with Juan Cordova?
I hope my competitors are working extremely hard. I hope they're eating the right meals. I hope they're getting the right sleep because I don't want any easy matches. I want every single match to go to the very end so we can push ourselves and we put on a good show so we can keep this combat sports keep on going and I'm ready for whoever steps in front of me.
Awesome, and that's a great segue too. So this tournament brings together guys from all over the country. We see guys from the local region as well, but it does bring out people from kind of all corners of America. So, what does it mean to you to be competing on a stage like that with kind of relatively unknown competitors? I mean, it's people you're definitely not familiar with.
Honestly, like I look forward to it. It kind of just reminds me like going back to anime of like you don't know who you're gonna be facing, and it's just like an awesome feeling to know like I'm getting all these guys in different walks of life, and different trials that they've gone through, and they've gotten up to this point, and it's just like something I've always looking forward to. And like a couple years ago, I would never have thought like I would have been able to be able to do this, and like it's just something I like always kept in back of my mind. Like this is awesome experience to like get ready for.
Okay. So let's put a sell on it. In a sea of matches that day, I think there's something like 90 matches total. What makes your matches must see TV? Why should people tune in specifically for Juan Cordova?
I want to say I was always the guy that maybe like no one really believed in too much. And, if you feel like life is not going right for you, I say just keep on pushing forward. And eventually people will see who you are for like your character and how much hard work you put in. And if you just have like a good heart, um, that's what I think I believe. That's what I bring to the table.
Absolutely, man. Character off the mat is just as important as performance on the mat. I feel like sometimes it kind of gets eclipsed in like this new social media thing where people all want that hand raised pose. But at the end of the day, it really does. It does boil down to the people in the training room with you and who you're impacting and just kind of the way you represent yourself and your team. So I'm excited to see you in action. I've got one final question, then we'll turn it over to you here. But when the dust settles and the night is over, what would make for a successful night for you personally? How do you feel you can walk away with the from the event proud of your performance and happy with how the day went?
Um, Probably like extremely difficult matches and just seeing like, everyone with a smile like on their face, win or lose. And honestly, I think these kind of matches push you and like in so many different ways of walk of life and get you prepared for like the next thing that's going to be coming up in your life, which could be jujitsu or some kind of tests. But for me, it just gets me ready to like continue the day forward and bring positive energy to not only like the training room environment, but like my work environment and everyone in my life. And honestly, I think we just need more leaders and like within the communities that just bring like good clarity and like positive attitude, so we could continue to move forward as a society and in a positive way and start thinking of like better solutions for this world.
Boom. I feel like I just took my vitamins, man. This was a very positive interview. This is very uplifting. I feel like normally guys are like, "Oh, nobody's ready for what I'm going to do to these guys and everybody's going to," yours is just very positive, just emitting radiating positivity, man. This is a good time. I appreciate this. So I'll turn it
Yeah.
over to you now. Like I said, now's kind of your time if you want to deliver a message to anybody, any shout outs, coaches, training partners, sponsors. Shoot, the floor is yours.
Yes, can be Jiu-Jitsu. Leah and Owen are the owners, and I just want to give them a shout out. Like without them, they've done so much work for making this community happen and taking over. Chris, one of the guys that helps out like with on the sideline, doesn't get like enough recognition on like on a Vice because he's been doing this for a while now. Want to shout out him. I want to shout out Lando for Roll a Lot. He definitely helps out in so many different ways. Without his, like different insights, I don't think we would be where we're at. And I just want to shout out Charlie and Maria. Those two definitely like don't realize how much lives they change. And all my training partners from Canby to 10th Planet Portland, back to Dark Haven over here, and everyone I've met before. Like I hope they've just been such a life changing, and everyone else that I've came across. And shout out to my mom and my brother and sister. Yeah,
Boom. Well, thank you, Juan, for the time. I appreciate it. Guys, you're not going to want to miss it. Juan Cordova in action, March 21st, live on Venture Combat. If you can't make it, definitely tune in. If you can make it, contact Juan for tickets. It's going to be a show. Juan, I thank you for the time. This was a great, uplifting, nice positive change of pace. So I appreciate it. Thank you for the time. I look
of
forward to
course.
seeing you in action.